Hello, this is the Death Row and Executions channel. My name is Paco Rivera. You can also follow me on Facebook for updates and more Death Row news. There will be a link to my Facebook in the description below. Also, check out my other channel, The Maximum Sentence, for recent crimes and convictions. There will be a link for that also. By the end of September of the year 1988, 21-year-old Karen Pulley was still living at the home that she had grown up in since childhood, but she was now living there with just two other roommates. On the night of September 30th, 1988, Karen was alone at home, and she would be home alone that night. Her roommates were out. One of them wouldn't return until the following day. Harold Wayne Nichols, who is now 64 years old. 4 years earlier, in the year 1984, when he was 24 years old, is a man who had pled guilty that year to an attempted violation of a woman, and he was sentenced to 5 years in prison, but he served only 18 months. About a year later, in 1986, he got married with a woman named Joanne. Now, fast forward 2 more years to the year 1988, Harold Nichols was employed at a place called Godfather's Pizza as an assistant manager. However, he wasn't working on the night of September 30th, 1988, because that night, now 27-year-old Harold Nichols was roaming the streets, actively looking for his next victim. And he came upon the home of Karen Pulley in the Brainerd area of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Nichols spotted a 2x4 board and picked it up, and after he forcibly broke into the home of Karen Pulley, he went up to her bedroom while still carrying the 2x4 and proceeded to rip Karen's clothing and undergarments off her body. When Karen resisted, he bashed Karen's head and body with the 2x4, crushing her skull. The following morning, one of Karen's roommates returned home and discovered Karen's brutally beaten body in her bedroom. She was still alive. Karen was quickly transported to a hospital, but she had succumbed to her injuries and died the next day. Harold Nichols did not stop with the assault of Karen Pulley. Over the next 3 months, going into January of 1989, he broke into several other homes in the Chattanooga area and had violated at least 5 more women. Now, while some reports speak of 5 women, other reports talk about 12 different women that were violated. So I'm not exactly sure which report is correct. The only difference with all those other women is that they survived. And when Harold Nichols was captured and arrested following some of those assaults, detectives, realizing they have taken into custody a serial violator, they pressed him on the murder of Karen Pulley, very much suspecting that it must have been this same guy going around violating women. And Nichols gave a full confession. At trial, when Harold Nichols was asked if he hadn't been arrested, would he still be out violating women? And Nichols had answered, probably. Harold Nichols was originally scheduled for execution in August of the year 2020, but because of the COVID pandemic, the governor issued an order to halt his execution and any other executions because of the complications that the epidemic was causing. Ultimately, I don't have a lot of information on the life of the victim who was murdered, Karen Pulley, only that, as I mentioned earlier, she was still living in the home that she had grown up in, and that she was killed in the bedroom that she had shared with her older sister, Lisette, while growing up. That sister now goes by the name Lisette Monroe, who had expressed her anger with the governor's ruling back in 2020 about stopping the execution of Harold Nichols. Lisette has stated that she intends to fly back to Tennessee to witness the execution and looks forward to seeing him die. Following a recent interview with a reporter this year, Lisette posted on her Facebook, "Thanks for all the prayers and messages. The interview went well. I appreciated the reporter's sensitivity and thoughtfulness. I took my time and responded with intention and care. Reflecting on my relationship with Karen brought back cherished memories and some tears. I miss her deeply, yet I know her legacy lives on, inspiring me to be a source of hope and love for others. I wish my girls could have known her. She would have been such an amazing example to them, and she would be so proud of the women they've become." Strangely, Harold Nichols' wife, Joanne, who was forced to end the relationship after his arrest in 1989, has said that Nichols was a great husband who treated her wonderfully throughout their relationship. She did find it unusual that he was in the habit of going out late at night and staying out for several hours, and that at first she thought that he was having an affair, but he always denied that. According to one report, Joanne testified in court that she and Nichols had the perfect marriage, that Nichols was always caring, kind, and nice, and that her family adored him, so she was shocked by the crimes. I suppose he had everybody fooled, didn't he? Please go ahead and hit the subscribe button for more death row and upcoming execution stories so that you're alerted when the next one comes out. You can also follow me on Facebook for updates. There will be a link to my Facebook in the description below. My name is Paco Rivera. Thank you for watching. Take care and bye for now.